Here is from Steve Smoak. He's from Ohio, another one of our viewers, when he was talking about pods. Now, before you freak out when you see these logos, this is just kind of a scenario. Steve was saying, and again, hypothetical, you can like them or not, if in fact the Pac-12, which they will not break up, but if in fact the Pac-12 ever had any issues with their media rights, which is up, they got to be doing that pretty soon. He thought, okay, how about this? You gain Arizona and Arizona State and Utah, and then he put the USF Bulls in here, which is kind of a quirky name to put in this list. But here's how he was putting the pods together. We're not done. You were talking about pods. We were talking about pods. So you could barely see Cincinnati's logo. But those are the 4 pods. And he just this is what his thoughts were and how they might make sense. I like that one at the bottom. That just looks cool because of the logos. Arizona, ASU, Brigham Young, and also Utah.
I got to say, just as a general, if that's a 16-team conference, that conference I would enjoy. I would like that too. Conference.
I know, and so that's how he put up the pods. Jack, is there another? Yeah, here's another one. After 9-game conference schedules, 3 in pod 2, 3 in your pod. 2 from each other pod, example, schedule over 2 years. He put that up there. And then off to the right, just for the purposes of TV market size, the combination of maybe the different market size. And, of course, Lord. Some are much, much better.
Is Lubbock really that low? I didn't realize that. 146 versus Waco's, where's Waco at? 83. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that they'd been that low in comparison.
Let me tell you something. This is what we have with you who watch us. Whatever your favorite program is. Thank you. We have the Tony Altomars who sends us this stuff. We have Steven Snook who sends us that stuff.
Can you put the TV market one back up there again? Does he have Kansas City? Yeah, Kansas City's it.
Kansas City's it. Yeah. Okay. So this is Steve. He put this together, and Jack did a great job making it into the graphic. So if this is 4 teams. I know some of you are going to lose your mind because you don't see Boise or you don't see Memphis or you don't see SMU or you don't whoever.
Well, I mean,
if those 3 right there, they trump anybody I mentioned.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah. So I thank you very much to Steve Snook, and hope that your dad's doing okay as well. Mike and Steve with their fathers have been struggling a little bit. Thank you very much. From Tony, not to criticize the graphics, the Arizona Board of Regents, at least for now, they do not seem terribly interested in any kind of a move. And that's from Tony, who's kind of got the pulse for us out on the West Coast as well. That's why I'm saying, if in fact hypothetical, I love what Steven put together just for the kicks.
Yeah, and outside of basketball, neither seem really in tune with competing at high level right now. As far as Arizona basketball's good, but the football programs at the moment are not doing well. But yeah, I mean those. If you could somehow pull Pac-12 schools, which we know is a long shot at this point, yeah, that would be. I'm sorry, Boise and whoever else wants to line up. You are not trumping Arizona schools or Utah to get into the league. That's just common sense. But yeah, if you can't get those schools one day, which is again a very long shot, because the Pac-12 is not going to just let them walk free at any point. Nor will they maybe have the people in charge who would want to leave anyways. They like the West Conference, Western Coast alliance, so to speak, but. Yeah, if you could, that'd be the dream scenario, and that looks like a really great league where all the geography makes a lot more sense, and it's spread out, but it's spread out in a good kind of way where there's at least, those pods that are all relatively close together. Like, that looks like a legit conference, and I'm not the biggest on USF necessarily, but they would make sense in that scenario if you could add those other Arizona schools in Utah. Yeah, that would make a ton of sense and would be great, but...
And the East and the West Coast, like the Central Time Zone schools are pretty much fine either way because you're not going to lose as much time going East or West because we're in the middle. But the East and West schools not having to play each other and have those, having more games where you could do that in other sports especially.
Yeah, no, you're right. And also for the 3-2-1, all I can say is after this round, don't water down the Big 12 with more G5s. And again, we don't know what's going to happen next, but I love the feedback. Steven Snook, he goes, how about this as a total surprise? He's the one that put those graphics together. On the same day with Dr. Miyakawa, just so everyone knows our comparative IQs are light years apart with his graphics compared to Dr. Miyakawa, who joined us earlier as well.
We appreciate that. Those graphics look great, and it's interesting to look at and food for thought. But they are currently in the Pac-12 and will be, for the foreseeable future. But if, all hell were to break loose, which is entirely possible in college athletics these days, you never quite know. And we'll know. I mean, we're going to know in the next couple of years. We're going to start seeing TV deals signed, and that's going to make the future a lot clearer. But I don't think anybody has a great grasp. And if you were to sit there and, gun to your head, you want to put up your year's salary to predict what's going to happen in 5 years, I don't think anybody would feel confident enough to do that because there's too much uncertainty. And, we don't know where everybody's going to be sitting in the next couple of years. But that would be one hell of a scenario and would be awesome. And I think the Big 12 would thrive with that setup. But it's going to take a few things to pull that off.
One more quote, and we got a break. We do. Tony said the one thing that Danny White, the AD at Arizona State, one of the best things that ever happened to ASU was being strong-armed to join the Pac-12. Arizona and